I'm in Duncan Village in East London, an area notorious for municipal mismanagement and endemic poverty. And we're here to follow up on reports about a tussle for land between the living and the dead. We've come here because we had to see it for ourselves. We're at Lujiza Cemetery, 5 kilometers from the center of East London. Like all the cemeteries in Buffalo City Metro, it's owned and maintained by the municipality. I'm putting these on because the terrain here is hard to navigate. You can't find the graves without wading into the bush. Let's go try and find some. How's it, boss? Grand. Are you cleaning up here? Okay. The maintenance is a welcome sight. Our team was here last month and the situation was very different. It was impossible to navigate. A total lack of security and only partial fencing have allowed a casual approach to the memories of the dead. Can you believe this is a gravesite? No, man. This isn't right. Whew. How are families supposed to get here if it's that hard for me?
The area was bushy. It was scary.
Tembi Yono buried her father here in 1992. When her mother died in 2015, she returned to make funeral arrangements.
The grass was that tall and the trees were just growing to an extent that it was difficult for us to go and have a look at the grave.
In the last decade, Buffalo City has allocated more than 50 million rand to maintaining its 33 cemeteries and 1 crematorium. Despite this, their neglected state has been making headlines for years. From vandalized graves to armed robberies and furnaces out of order for weeks on end. But in August, the reports became truly bizarre. Behind this is the graveyard?
Yes.
We're at the informal settlement on the other side of Lujiza Cemetery. Noni Ntunga lives just across the narrow road. What? Look at this. This is right at the shacks. Oh no, man. You.
Here it's graveyards. We are walking on top of them.
These shacks built along the outskirts of the cemetery have relentlessly encroached on the graves themselves.
There was a stone here. I think it's been moved there. This is a head of a stone.
Right.
This one is a head of a stone. Maybe it was here. So you can actually see the head, then the inside.
What about the families? Has anyone come here?
They will be here, they will look, and they will never find. Okay, it's only now that the person that was looking for a family member realized that the person is just inside a shack.
Do you have any family here?
Yes, my grandmother is here.
Is her grave also close to these shacks?
No, her grave is just there next to the tip, somewhere there.
I am directly affected by this. My grandmother is laying here as we speak.
Kwanele Majeke is the local ward councillor. He's horrified by the neglect of a historic site.
This is not just a graveyard that lies my grandmother, but it's a heritage site to us people of Duncan Village.
Why is that?
In 1985, many people were killed by the apartheid government, slaughtered, shot. Yes.
In 1985, at least 20 people were killed by apartheid police in Duncan Village during a week-long surge of violence.
And these people are lying here.
In the same
in
neglected graveyard, which has become a dumping site, Kwanele. And just 3 minutes down the road, we discover another neglected landmark. Believe it or not, behind me is a graveyard. This is a graveyard. But this is obviously too thick for me to wade into. So luckily, our colleague here has got a drone that we've set up. All right, buddy, can you take the drone up and see what we can find? As the drone hovers overhead, we notice structures in the undergrowth. What is that? Is that a roof over a grave? That is a grave. An inscription is revealed on a lonely tombstone. This is a grave that was unveiled by the executive mayor. That's an ANC member. Alkotsquay Gwenche was the chairperson of the ANC in East London. His gravestone was unveiled with great ceremony in 2009 before the site was left to the weeds. Incredibly, the municipality is still advertising it as a tourist attraction. Now it looks like it's just thick bush. None of this has been maintained, at least not since 2009.
Then that's wrong. We don't have people with a clear moral and ethical compass to understand and respect graves.
As we visit other cemeteries in the area, the extent of the rot becomes clear. So this is the Haven Hills Cemetery. Yeah, ne? How much does it cost to cut the grass? That's why communities feel like they can invade the graveyard and build shacks, because they never see any municipal officials here. In the month since our team's first visit, there seems to have been some effort to clean up Lujiza Cemetery.
It's only now that the graveyards, you can actually see the stones.
But has anything changed for those living shoulder to shoulder with the dead?
They have been waiting for houses, some of them. It's from 1995.
With tensions burning over the issue, this resident has chosen to hide her identity.
But in Jalal, sometimes even telling and sound come and the people but in tanners and lie. Yeah, poopa sometimes gagusha sometimes in poopa not in the funeral, yabo. I'll pooping at the funeral. You think, oh no, but sometimes they don't dilapa big graveyard.
But these residents have been sharing their dreams with the dead for decades. Alternative homes simply aren't available. After the municipality repeatedly declines our request for an interview with Mayor Princess Faku, we decide to go in search of her. You're hard to pin down for an interview. We're hoping to speak to you about the cemeteries.
She's going to council now. Can we have?
Can we have a conversation after council?
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that, man. Do you know that people are building shacks on top of graves?
Yes, it came to my attention last week that there are people who are living in shacks closer to the cemetery.
How do you expect them to react when they've been living there since 2002?
Remember, I've been an executive mayor only for more than a year, but we must also learn as residents there are places that we must not build in, like cemeteries.
How much did you allocate in the last financial year to the upkeep of cemeteries?
I would not have the direct figures of that because I don't want to thumbsuck in terms of numbers.
It's not that complicated, Mayor. In the annual report every year, you're able to specify exactly how much you allocated. Where is that money going? Because we're not seeing it in the cemeteries.
I will give you an example where we have spent monies in cemeteries. I will tell you, construction of the Club View.
In King Williamstown?
Yes. Fencing and internal roads.
That is, I don't know what you spent there, but I have to tell you, Mayor, having just been there, it's in a terrible condition.
I'm not sure. Which one are you referring to?
Where you spent the money.
Where we spend the money.
You see the rubbish in the cemeteries. You see the state of them.
What I know of the Haven Hills one, the grass and the infrastructure that is in a bad state, I've never seen rubbish in a cemetery. You've
never seen rubbish in a cemetery?
No.
It's hard to imagine leaving your loved one in a place like this. But the only real alternative is cremation.
We have one crematorium.
The one where the burners weren't working and people were bringing the bodies and having to take them back week after week. Recently.
You see other things you are telling me now which I would not be aware. And as far as I know, that the crematorium that we have, which is in Cambridge, was just renovated now in August.
So this is the Cambridge Cemetery. The one that the mayor says is properly maintained and in a good condition. See, these plaques have been ripped off the walls. This place is supposed to be protected. Do you know the true state of the cemeteries, Mayor?
I know them. I'm a mayor that don't sit in boardrooms. I go around and I see.
But you didn't know that the burners were off at the crematorium?
No, I did not know, because it was never even in the Daily Dispatch, because they are the ones that contact us if there's such thing. The ward councillor did not inform me.
It's concerning that the mayor depends on local news to do her job.
We deploy these comrades to these positions for nothing else but to bring services closer to people.
When Mamtembi last tried to visit her parents' shared grave in Lujiza Cemetery in 2018, she couldn't find it. Fed up, she made a drastic choice. In late August, she had both her parents exhumed and moved to Haven Hills.
If I were to wait again for something like a year or so, take it from me, they will be built on top of.
But exhumation is expensive. Mamtembi estimates she spent at least 26,000 rand. Do you know that people have been exhuming bodies out of the graveyard because the people are building shacks on top of the graves?
No, I'm not aware of that. I'm hearing it for the first time.
In Buffalo City, accountability stops with you.
Yeah, not true. It's true what you are saying to say that the buck ends with me. I apologize to those families, because the minute that people were starting to build on top of the cemeteries, the city was supposed to not have allowed it.
She's the first citizen of this bigger town of ours. Why couldn't she know? Why is she not aware? What does that say on its own?
Are you going to exhume the body of your grandmother to go bury it somewhere else?
No. If I take it, I'll take it where?
Why don't you just clean the rubbish to find out where it is?
I don't even know where she is.
As we speak, a resident urinates on a nearby gravestone. Their families may still be alive, but the memories of these long-gone locals are vanishing quickly beneath the rubbish.
Thanks for watching. Why not drop us a comment below? We love reading your opinions. Remember, you can now access Carte Blanche stories anytime, anywhere, even offline. Carte Blanche, the podcast, is now available on all major podcast platforms. So be sure to hit that follow or subscribe button and be part of our growing online family.